All right, good evening. Thank you very much for everybody for coming in on a Tuesday night, spending a little time with us. My name is Lucas Schraben. I'm our Director of Secondary Programs. I'm very excited to do this presentation with you tonight. This is the start of a 3-year journey for the students that could be part of the program if they choose to be. And we'll be right back. We've been doing our graduation piece in the library here, so this is always kind of a fun piece. We meet tonight, and then 3 years from now we're here celebrating at graduation. So it's kind of a fun part to watch that whole journey. But I want to start with a couple words from our superintendent, Dr. Hornak.
Thank you, Luke. First of all, thanks for being here tonight. This vision for the Holt Early College started somewhere around the year 2016, where we were conceiving this idea of how in the world can we keep our kids at Holt Public, but pay for up to 60 transferable credits.
I told these guys I'll have you say.
In comes Lucas Schraben. Shortly.
Just who you are.
You all deserve a wow super wow for this. I mean, truly, we filled the library. There are people going to be watching this on video because they weren't able to be here with us, and I couldn't be more excited just to watch this event play out tonight, to continue to support you and your students. Together we are better, and I wholeheartedly believe that we have some really special things happening at Holt High, and you're going to hear all about that tonight. So again, welcome. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us this evening. Back to you, Luke.
All right. I want to introduce a few important people that are part of our school community here, some staff that came out to help us that are part of the program. Nancy, if you want to introduce yourself and what you do.
I'm Nancy Meredith. I've been teaching in Holt since 1999, but the last 6 years I have been working with our early college students, and it's really probably the most rewarding 6 years of my career, as I get to spend 3.5 years working with groups of students and really getting to know them.
Nancy was one of my business teachers when I was in high school, so we've come full circle. We get to work together now. Mr. Falk, Coach Falk.
Hello. What I do here is working with the year 13 college students that go off and they have other classes off-site, but they might still need some of that support as they still are considered high school students. My background of when I was coaching at Olivet College, I was also the freshman retention officer, which also leads to having those skills to helping those year 13 students really trying to navigate and find their way around the college atmosphere and what resources are available to them. And then also trying to apply to colleges, looking for different scholarships and how all of those factors might run together and how to pick schools and different things like that.
Lindsay Fox, our senior counselor.
Hi, I'm Lindsay Fox. I work across the street at the North Campus with all the seniors. I'm also the advanced placement coordinator for the district, and I help all the seniors with like college applications and all that stuff.
Lindsay will help us tonight as we navigate the different types of college credit you can earn in high school. As you heard, she's the advanced placement coordinator for us. So if you're wondering AP classes or early college, how do those two things, which one should I do? We're going to dive into that a little bit tonight and hopefully help provide some of the information you would need to make that decision. I want to highlight that this is one of many early college, or one of many of our educational pathways we've worked on over the last 5 or 6 years. You'll see university prep at the top there. That would be what we kind of consider traditional university prep. A lot of AP courses that you could take while in high school to help prepare for college applications in year 12. And then early college is the second one down there. So with early college, we're looking more at a 3-year program of study, so you're extending high school by a 13th year. Before I go in, I'm going to today's presentation, I don't expect you to be an expert, but it's really important that we spend a good amount of time in here tonight to try to really explain how this works so you get a good feel and understanding to make sure this is a good decision for what you and your student want to do moving forward. But we'll hear from some students, and we'll do it in an entertaining way. So we've got one of our educational pathways you'll see up there is digital media. So we've got a video production class, and they said, hey, what is all this early college stuff we're seeing? Could we hear from some of the students? So last week they interviewed some students, and then they captured a little bit of me trying to summarize it at the end. So we'll start there with some student voices before we get going, so you don't have to hear Mr. Schraben talk all night.
after you apply, you're gonna have one semester where you're basically just learning about college and like what it means to be in college and how to financially save up for college. And it's really just later in life skills, you know, because a lot of people when they do go to college, they usually like get into a lot of debt. So they created early college to help more kids be successful.
Some people, they take a 2-year community college and a 2-year university to get their bachelor's. We take 1 year of college within our high school and then a 13th year of one college, and then we go to university.
Take our college classes in junior and senior year. During the 13th year, we can graduate with an associate's degree completely for free, unless you fail the class.
All right, when you do early college with LCC, you get pretty much the entire college experience, but don't let that make you think that you're gonna be all alone for it.
With LCC, or early college, you get the help of both your teachers here and the help of your professors.
No, you are actually fully on an LCC campus, just Holt, you're technically a Holt student because they're paying for it.
On Tuesdays and Thursdays, we have lectures from 5th to 6th hour.
And then on Mondays and Wednesdays during 5th hour, we have study hour to make sure you're ready and prepared for the lectures. 6th hour on those days, we do not have class. And then on Friday,
the best thing about it, we're off. No 5th and 6th hour for Fridays. Another great thing about the Holt Early College program is our semesters are shorter than the normal semesters.
so 5th and 6th hours, 2 weeks before breaks, you're completely off. You could go home if you have a ride.
You really could.
They have a way of easing you into it where it's easier the first class, and then they'll make it slightly harder and then harder. So it's a gradient of like more like high school to more like college.
Sort of like a staircase sort of model.
Yes.
A benefit of taking early college is technically you're an LCC student. What this means is you get a star card and all of its benefits.
These benefits include access to the gym, access to all LCC discounts, you can rent a computer, and you have access to the library.
Yeah, I'd say highly recommended.
I would highly recommend it. It's pretty fun. You're with the same group through like the entire program, so you get to know a lot of people and get to know a lot about them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
I honestly am so glad that I did it.
I would, yeah.
I would 100% recommend
definitely
it,
recommend
yes.
Okay.
Yes, a little bit.
I was hesitant, but with like hearing more information about it, I was totally on board afterwards. How the experience went, I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
Great benefit.
And this entire program is free, so you get free college classes, which that's always a benefit.
It saves a lot of time, it saves a lot of money. So I mean, if you want to do that, that's good.
Holt actually is, because you enroll into a 13th year and they actually pay for it. But make sure you keep up though, because if you don't keep up, then you start failing and then you guys end up paying for that.
Completely free process, unless you fail the class, which isn't that hard as long as you're attending the classes and you ask for help if you need some.
Undecided right now.
I plan on going into marine biology.
And I plan on going into the medical field.
I'm trying to get a master's in psychology, so yeah.
I'm planning to go to like Western, get a nice sports management degree. So like this is giving me a good boost because it's giving me early years and early experience and some credits, so I can just transfer to the university, and then I don't have to do as much and I don't have to pay as much. I get like head start.
For me personally, I don't know, and that's why early college is great, because it gets the complete basics out of the way and you don't have to be locked into anything.
I'm the same also. I'm just going to get the general classes out of the way while I figure out what I'm doing.
I'm leaning towards accounting as of right now.
Hey everybody, Lucas Schraben, Director of Secondary Programs. It was excellent to hear from our students here as they talked about the early college program. We're so excited to be able to offer this opportunity for our students. Really what we're trying to do is help students reach the educational goals that they have set, post-secondary goals, the credentials that help open doors to them, both in college and career. Whether that's a 2-year degree, like an associate's degree from Lansing Community College or Davenport University, or if your plans to go on and do traditional university track and study for a bachelor's or a master's or even a doctoral degree, this program is one way to help you get started with that. It's not the only way. We've got about 15 different pathway programs here at Holt High School that you could tap into with tremendous assortment of AP teachers and classes, excellent foundation for you if you're university bound. Holt Early College, if you're a first generation college student, is particularly of interest because we've got wraparound supports built in. So if you're the first in your family potentially to go to college and it seems confusing or hard for you, this could be a tremendous opportunity for you because we've got teachers working with you as you go through. We've got an embedded college and career readiness curriculum. We have students take a class called Early College Prep. They've got seminar time in there built in where they're working with a Holt teacher. Workshops are dropped in, things like note-taking strategies, organizational skills, time management skills, active reading skills. Like, how do these things play into being a good college student? And those are the skills that are really the most important that we see. You have a tremendous academic foundation here from the teachers and the staff that you've had all the way up to this point at Holt. You're ready for college courses. The students who are most successful with this are the ones that have the soft skills, the ability to check their email, navigate an online platform to turn their college coursework in, stay organized, turn things in on time, map out a semester schedule so they know when their papers are due and when the tests are going to be. Those are the skills we see that translate to success for students in the early college program. It's a 3-year program of study, years 11, 12, and 13. It adds a year of high school, a 13th year. But the important part that students often want to hear, you walk across the stage at the end of year 12 with your graduating class. You have your open house in the 13th year. You're pretty much full-time at the college if you want to be at LCC or Davenport. That's how the program is designed. We've got 2 excellent partners, and we couldn't do this work without their partnership. Lansing Community College partners with us in Davenport University. Lansing Community College, we work with their K-12 department, and they actually have professors and classes that we offer here at North Campus that students are able to take during 5th and 6th hour. So you're here at main campus for the first 4 hours of the day, if you're in 11th grade, and then you go across the street and take a college class 5th and 6th hour. If you're in 12th grade, you're probably at North Campus all day anyway. Davenport University is a tremendous partner. We have a credit agreement with Davenport, so students who are in our career tech ed classes, our business courses, our cybersecurity class, our computer programming courses, they're getting college credit articulated for those classes as part of their school day. And then in addition to that, the dual enrollment on top, they're actually able to get to an associate degree with their programs of study at Davenport. So fantastic opportunities for you. This is one of many pathways here at Holt High School, but we're highlighting early college today. And it was so fun to hear from the students earlier. And we just want to let you know that you can do this. And if you're the first in your family to go to college, this could be a tremendous opportunity for you. If you've got a sibling who's done the program, you know how well it works for them. And we'd love to see the next generation of Holt Rams getting further ahead earlier, obtaining those post-secondary credentials in a way that's economically viable to them so they can be successful long-term financially and have those that educational foundation needed to go on and do great things. So go Holt Rams. That educational foundation needed to go on and do great things. Go Holt Rams.
All right, that was a good summary, and I wanted to have that in there because you get nervous when you do a presentation. I didn't want to leave anything out. You may hear things more than once tonight. That's okay, because this can be kind of complex. But at the end of the day, it really is pretty simple. What we're doing is we're going to extend high school by a 13th year. And so the way that works, we had count day recently. And when you have count day, we report to the state our number of students, and then you'll see in the headlines per pupil funding. That's the amount of money, that's our revenue stream. That's the business model for schools, our per pupil. So if we have a student for a 13th year and they're a high school student, we're able to bring in an additional year of funding, and then we backwards build a budget to be able to use that per pupil funding to pay for the college courses over the 3-year program of study. That's how it works. So we're able to break even and provide a tremendous opportunity for our students, which betters our community and helps students reach educational goals. Some of the advantages or the benefits, wraparound supports are a big one I want to hit on. So we always say dual enrollment's not early college, and early college isn't dual enrollment. So students are going to dual enroll a lot, but early college is far more than dual enrollment. There's going to be a lot of things they're doing throughout the process, one that we ask them to do, and they're going to get additional supports as they go through that. Miss Meredith is a perfect example. They'll work very closely with Miss Meredith in years 11 and 12, and then they'll have Mr. Falk in year 13 when they're full-time on the college campus via Google Classroom, where he's working with them on weekly grade checks and different strategies and things to be successful in that 13th year, applying some of the things he learned when he was at Olivet. Working on transition from high school to college and career, leadership opportunities throughout, and the cohort modeling. So that was something was important to us when we designed the program, and student feedback has been very positive on that. So this group would be cohort 7. This would be our 7th cohort of whatever students continue and choose to do the early college program. So you know, as you're listening in here tonight, we'll do questions at the end. I'll answer any questions you have, and then I'll send a survey out, and I'll give about a week to do a survey, and where you'll respond if this is what you want to do or not. So you're not pigeonholed into this. But if you are, and you want to do this and continue to go, then the next step will be early college prep, which we'll talk about that in a minute. This is what students are working towards. It's called the MEMCA Technical Certificate, the Michigan Early Middle College Association. So we applied to the state of Michigan 7 years ago for the early college program. Then we did 3 years of work and then presented to the MEMCA organization to be distoned as one of the MEMCA approved early middle colleges. We are. So we've met the quality standards to be a MEMCA approved early college, which allows us to give out this certificate as an exit point for students successfully after the 13th year. To get the MEMCA cert, students have to have 70 plus hours of work related and or volunteer experience hours. So we couple that with the dual enrollment, because what we say again is dual enrollment's not early college, and early college isn't dual enrollment. It's more than just that. So we want students, when they come out of that 13th year, not only to have a bunch of college credit in their back pocket, which mom and dad are probably listening to and excited about, we don't want them to be good at just taking college courses. Because as we know, when we go through college, we graduate, that piece of paper opens doors for you, but it doesn't make you successful in your career. We want them to be a well-rounded student. And so 70 plus hours of work-related experience and community service coupled with the college credit is one way we do that. That's one way to get them some of those experiences while in high school as they're going through. In the MEMCA certificate, some of the practices we do with our college and career readiness curriculum is outlined, and that is a piece they get with their diploma. So at the end of the 13th year, it's high school diploma. If it's LCC, the Michigan Transfer Agreement, the MEMCA certification would be your outcomes, those 3 things, and then whatever number of credits you've completed. And if it's Davenport, then it would be associate's degree with the MEMCA cert. So there's 3 types of college credit. I'm going to walk through those a little bit that you can earn while in high school. And that's important to understand to get a kind of a feeling of how the program works and what we apply. The goal for the outcomes we've hit on is up to 60 transferable college credits at LCC, an associate's degree at Davenport University, and the MEMCA certificate, no matter which program you do. Students are coded in Skyward 9, 10, 11, or not Skyward anymore, Power School, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12. So you have an additional year. That's how we code for that 13th year of high school. Holt Advantage classes. So a Holt Advantage means what will happen is we purchase LCC classes with an LCC professor, and they're delivered at North Campus. So you heard me say that in the video. But that if students continue with this, their 5th and 6th hour in years 11 and 12 will be across the street at North Campus, and a college professor comes and lectures to them. Looks a little different if it's Davenport, but that's how we do it with LCC, which is the majority of our early college program. The Davenport ones are a little more specialty niche type programs, which you'll see when I go over programs of study. Students need a 2.5 GPA by the end of the current semester. Okay, so we give till the end of this semester. So if they've applied, they saw that earlier. The idea being if you're not quite there yet, you could smash it this semester and get there. We wanted to give you until that time. They need a 480 on the PSAT. Okay, so that could be last year's PSAT or it could be this year's PSAT. In the evidence-based reading and writing portion, that's the college requirement to be able to take a college class while in high school. That's called college ready. That's the number we need students to be able to get to. And then the most important part is that students are ready to take the responsibility for their behavior and learning. A big part of the early college prep and some of the things we talk about is when we first started this, we saw a lot of students that applied because mom and dad said, you're going to do this. They see college credit and they have the student do it and they tell them they're going to do it. It doesn't work very well if that's the scenario going on. So what we've implemented and what we'll see in here, here I'll come back, is an early college prep class where we want students to be able to identify who am I, what's important to me, where do I want to be, and how do I plan to get there. So we build that in. When students see how this is the bridge to where they're going, they often then will take ownership in the program. And when they do, they know where they're going and how it's going to help them get there, the engagement completely changes, and students are often really successful. So 3 types of college credit you can earn in high school. Who knows one? What do we think? What's one way you can get college credit in high school? Help me out. What's that? AP classes, excellent. Okay, anybody got another one? Yep. Okay, cool. Okay, what you're describing, you're articulated. You remembering that, I think, from when we met before. She said if you take certain classes that could transfer to universities, that's called articulated credit. Now, articulated credit's really cool because if this is with a credit agreement, it's the easiest to obtain. Okay, so this requires a credit agreement, and each of these come with their advantages and drawbacks. Articulated credit certainly has drawbacks too. But articulated credit's where a university and a high school have a credit agreement. So we work with Davenport annually on that. So every year Davenport we'll take a look at each other's course guides. We'll see if there's classes that have the same type of content. If 80% of that course is the same, we put their instructor in contact with our instructor. They talk about what they're doing in class. If the class aligns 80% or more, Davenport will articulate it for credit at their institution. So students can take high school classes here, and if they get a 3.0 or higher, they can earn college credit to Davenport for completing that course. So that I'll pull up a link so we can take a look at that in a little bit. But that's super helpful to be able to get to that associate's degree. So Davenport's a business school. They've got, with our program, a business administration path, a cybersecurity path, and a computer programming path. And those are classes we offer here via CTE. So if we have students take a career tech ed program here, they can knock out college credit at Davenport. And then they're also dual enrolling, and so they're able to get that much further ahead, that much faster. Now drawback, big drawback, that's a credit agreement with Holt and Davenport. So if a student starts that and then goes to transfer and they don't complete their degree, then that's not transferable college credit because they don't have it transcripted on their, it's not like a LCC transcript or a Davenport transcript, it's just a credit agreement. So it will go towards their degree, but if they were to change their mind and don't go to Davenport, then it's not advantageous. So it's important that if you're looking at one of the DU paths, you do your homework and make sure that I'm going to complete this 13th year with Davenport. That's somewhere I might even be interested in for my bachelor's degree. If it is, and it's a content area you're interested in, then it might be a fast track that makes sense for you. If it's, I don't know for sure where I want to go to university at, I might want to go to a state university like a Western, a Grand Valley, a MSU, Central, something along those lines, then the LCC path might be a little more of interest because that's utilizing our third option here, which is direct college credit. Direct college credit is when you take a college class while in high school and it's on your college transcript. So you're a high school student at Holt and you're a college student at LCC. You apply to the college, you become an LCC student, and you take the college course through LCC. It's on your LCC transcript. Whether you took it as an 11th grader or you graduated high school and took it, it's the same thing. Okay, so that's direct college credit. Direct college credit and AP credit are your most transferable. Okay, so AP, some of the advantages. We'll let Ms. Fox, if I don't hit on all of them, if you see anything obvious I missed, let me know. I'd say one of the biggest things for our AP is our teachers, right? We've got excellent teachers and you have a large assortment of AP options. Not every high school in the greater Lansing area would be able to offer 13 AP options. So one of the biggest things is you've got a lot of choices that you can take AP with, and you have excellent teachers delivering it. So your academic institutions like that AP. They love to see it on the high school transcript because they know what it means. It's got some old institutional knowledge. It's been around a long time. They know if you take AP classes at Holt, or you take them in Florida, or you take them in California, that is a rigorous high school course. They know what it means. It has name cachet. And then you've got great teachers delivering it. So the academic foundation is super solid. So if you're going into, you wanted to go year 12 and apply to a high-end academic institution, Michigan, Notre Dame, Ivy League, and getting in the admission process is competitive, then loading up on AP and doing a traditional university track may not be a bad option for you. That might be a good option because it's going to look pretty advantageous to the university rep, right? Anything else I missed? Some of the drawbacks, you got to pay to take an AP test, right? So each of these, there's an AP test. You got to get a certain score on that test for it to be able to transfer in, which you can easily look up online. Any of those, you just look up like University of Michigan AP Transfer Guide, University of Michigan State AP Transfer Guide. Every college has it posted. So if you're taking 10th grade, maybe AP Bio. We got anybody in AP Bio in here? Okay, so you can easily look up a college and see what score they require on the AP test and what credit would come in as. They'll all publish that online, so you can pull that up. Now, if taking the test, is there scholarships, I'd imagine, if the cost is prohibitive or anything like that? Possibly. Okay, so there could be some things offset there. So AP credit looks good on the high school transcript, goes into pretty much any institution, any university. You just Google how it comes in. Direct college credit is transcripted college credit, highly transferable, and everything we build into the program of study, we start with the most transferable. So when I first started the program, I used to work at a career center before this. And when we did our programs of study, I was like, oh, I was thinking when I came in, we need a nursing program, we need a computer science program, very specific. I was wearing my old hat where I used to work for an ISD, and we would pull students from across the county. With a local high school, we needed something very flexible, is what we found out quickly. So what we have with the LCC Pass is the Michigan Transfer Agreement. It's your general studies. So when somebody says, how many people have heard this at open house? What's next for you? Well, I'm going to go to LCC and take my basics and transfer to university. Pretty common answer around here, right? That's what we're doing. We're just starting it in year 11. So students are starting with highly transferable courses. They're knocking out that MTA. Parents in the room, if you went to a community college, that was formerly called the Macro Agreement. Same thing. The MTA is the newer version. And so students are knocking that out while in high school. And then when they get into that 13th year, they've already completed the MTA, and they start to take additional courses that'll apply to whatever their plans are in year 14. And we start in year 10 working on that college and career planning with them. So when they're meeting with their LCC advisors in year 12, and they say, what is it that you plan to do? They can say, oh, I think I'm going to study education, or I want to go to Central Michigan, or whatever it may be. And they can help program year 13 so that we can ensure that things are going to transfer to where you're going. That's incredibly important to me. It's incredibly important to students. So I went to school here at Holt as well. We didn't have a program like this when I was here. I went to school at Western right out of high school. And my wife stayed at LCC for 2 years to take her basics and transfer to university. And when she transferred down to Western after 2 years, like half of what she took came with her. And that might have been her own fault, and maybe she didn't get enough time with an advisor or whatever it may be. But we're trying to avoid that because if you got two factors there. The college class costs less for you when you come out and do it that way. But if you're wasting time, that time hurts you too, right? That's 1 year longer before you're into your profession, before you're contributing to your pension, before you're saving for your house, whatever it may be, when you're paying to be in college. So highly transferable courses are the way we start with LCC. We've had students go into 12 different programs of study after they completed the LCC MTA. Everything from education to health, insurance risk management, a lot of psychology, education, and transfer studies. So this is a route where students would use this to go to a public university. At Davenport, we have 3 special programs where they are working directly towards that associate's degree, as we've highlighted. And that's Computer Information Systems, Cyber Defense, and Associates of Business Administration. So let me play a couple videos so you can see the students again, and you get a chance to get a feel for each of those programs a little better. Hey everybody, Mr. Schraben here. Today you're going to hear a little bit about the Holt Early College and our partnership with Lansing Community College for our pathway to complete the Michigan Transfer Agreement while in high school. It's an excellent opportunity for students to accelerate and dual enroll a little bit earlier in high school. It's a three-year program of study in years 11, 12, and 13. And I add a quote to year 13 because in that 13th year, you're full-time at Lansing Community College as a student, and you work with our mentors here at Holt High School. You're going to hear from one of our former students, Gladys, and she's going to share a little bit about how this program helped her advance to where she is now on her track to being a physician. And you'll hear a little bit from one of our advisors, Eric, at Lansing Community College, as he talks a little bit about the importance of the Michigan Transfer Agreement.
So the Michigan Transfer Agreement is an agreement between community colleges and four-year colleges by the Macro organization, has a long history of working, of four-year colleges and community colleges working together. And the newest agreement that started in 2014 is the Michigan Transfer Agreement. It's a way to streamline your general education for a bachelor's degree so that you can do your work at LCC and then transfer it all to your four-year college.
The partnership between Holt High School and Lansing Community College has really helped me come up with effective study strategies, extracurricular activities, and leadership skills. I'm really confident at MSU in my third year in my ability to succeed academically.
Yeah, so the value of the MTA is that if you went to a four-year college, you'd have to meet all of their general education requirements one by one, like a checklist. You just have to go off, do I have so many cultural awareness, or do I have diversity, U.S. diversity, or global awareness, or these kinds of classes? Do I have my English done, my math done? If you do the Michigan Transfer Agreement, the plan is that then you transfer to that four-year college, and they say you've got the Michigan Transfer Agreement done, then you have all of your general education done.
One of the things that I'm so appreciative about the Holt Early College is that it really exposed me to different things, and it allowed me to not be afraid to explore my options. Like for example, I did the research, and I'm so grateful for that, and it's because of the help of my mentors and my amazing peers who have supported me throughout this whole thing. So from a student standpoint, just being in the classroom and studying in general, I've build my study strategies for sure. That's like the major thing for me, is I know how to study for each class, I know what to do, and time management. That's another really big thing, because I'm working and I'm volunteering, and I need to be able to balance all three of those in my, just in my life in general.
All right, that was Gladys. She was in our first cohort. Gladys went to MSU. She transferred in from the early college program, came in as a junior when she went to MSU. So again, that's part of the reason we got the college and career readiness curriculum embedded, is we want you to be able to walk on to those college campuses ready to jump into junior level courses if that's where you're at with your credit load. She's working towards being a physician still, right? She's going to be a doctor. So Gladys is crushing it. Both videos are shot by a former student of our digital media program that's helped us with this, promoting our program, so that's always a cool piece to share too. This is a little highlight of a Davenport program now.
It's clear cybersecurity skill set is increasing in demand. Corporations and companies across the nation are threatened by malicious attacks. That's why we offer educational pathways and partnerships to Holt students that get them ready for high-wage, high-demand careers like cybersecurity.
Hey everybody, Mr. Schraubman here, and we are here today to tell you a little bit about our cybersecurity and computer networking programs we have available for students here at Holt High School. It's a year-long course. It's a career technical education course. And when it's a career tech ed program, then you're allowed to, it kind of helps you put together articulation agreements and credit agreements for students. So they could take it just as an elective. You just go to the course guide and sign up. It takes cybersecurity and computer networking. But in addition to that, you could also sign up to be a Holt Early College student. So you apply in fall of your sophomore year if you would like to do Holt Early College. And then this is one of our pathways. So you could do a cyber defense pathway in partnership with Davenport University. And because we're a career tech ed program with this, we've got an articulation agreement in place with Davenport.
Clicking through the courses that I could take, I saw cybersecurity, and pretty much just on a whim, I requested that course, and just by a stroke of luck, it happened to be a part of the early college program and already count for an associate's and bachelor's in cyber defense. And soon after that, I saw information for a whole early college program, and I thought that was kind of neat. Who wouldn't want to take college courses in high school and not pay for college?
So at Davenport, our technology programs are interchangeable with cybersecurity. So programs in computer science, CIS, technology project management, cyber defense, network management and security, as well as digital forensics, they all fit into that umbrella underneath technology as well as cybersecurity. We have articulation programs with Holt, where those courses will come in from Holt and articulate into Davenport, both at our main campus here at Latinga and Grand Rapids, as well as campuses such as in Lansing. And most of our programs are also offered online.
I feel like it's actually given me a solid basis and pathway to go on. I mean, all I had was like a search engine and a bunch of unrestrained curiosity that I had no idea what to do with. And the early college program and this cybersecurity program, it gave me a structured pathway that I could use to advance my knowledge in a way that wasn't just learning a bunch of random things and being able to actually make sense of stuff.
The cybersecurity is a lot more than just cybersecurity, what we traditionally think of. It is everything in technology, and we need all skill sets. It's not just about the hands-on, it's about the management, it's about all other skills that you can bring to the forefront to really shine in a cybersecurity role.
So if a student was interested in these types of programs, when you go to the course guide, you'll see cybersecurity and computer networking as a class you can take. It's a year-long elective. Any Holt High School student can take it. Within that course, you'll have the opportunity to earn industry-recognized credentials, do work-based learning experiences, and participate in that course. In addition to that, if you're a 9th or a 10th grader, you could plan in the fall of year 10 to apply to Holt Early College. And what that'll do is it'll give you an additional year of quote-unquote high school. And I say it that way because that 13th year, you're totally dual enrolled in the college campus, but you're still working with one of our mentors here at the high school. But that puts you on a path where you're taking the cybersecurity program in partnership with Davenport University or Lansing Community College, and you're then on a mapped out track through the 13th year, with your focus being cybersecurity and computer networking.
So we look at the partnership between Holt and Davenport University as a win-win for everybody. The career pathway helps the high school to help achieve their students' goals when they come to Davenport, helps us achieve our students' goals, and it helps us set up the student up for that career path to really succeed post-graduation.
I get my associate's degree in cyber defense from Davenport. I plan to continue at Davenport and get my bachelor's in cyber defense. And from now to then and beyond that, I'll continue to look out for opportunities, continue self-studying.
He wasn't joking either. He's doing fantastic with the program. He's already notched a couple scholarships, I believe, and won over the summer a cyber cadet type program. They recently had a cyber summit. We took a bus of students in our early college program down. He was interviewed on the news. So Aiden's thriving with that fit with the cybersecurity program. I know we got a couple sophomores here today who might have saw that video or heard about that program, and they're already in the cybersecurity class, and they were just waiting for the early college application to come out. So really cool to see those pieces of the puzzle coming together. This is a sample program of study. It's the main program of study for the early college students because the majority end up doing the LCC programs just because they're more flexible. And what we're really highlighting here, and I got a little pointer so I can show it real quick. And what we're really highlighting here is 5th and 6th hour in years 11 and 12, okay? So sophomore students, if you're in here, what'll happen? Early college prep, I'm gonna show you that on the next slide, is gonna be an elective that we would have you take next semester, okay? So we'll talk a little bit about why behind that. So you apply, here's year 10. You apply in fall of year 10, you do early college prep in spring of year 10. This whole year is really an opportunity for you to explore where you're going and how early college is gonna help you get there. You'll see in a future slide, we don't actually know if we're in early college or not until the end of this school year because we got to get those PSAT scores back, right? And those don't come till the end of May. So we send out letters in June, and everything from year 10, you're right on track. Everybody who's here tonight has applied, and you're on track to be in the early college program if you wanted to. The next steps, do you want to take early college prep next semester, and how can we make that work? And we'll talk a little bit about that. What it would look like in years 11 and 12 is your 5th and 6th hour would become college classes over at North Campus. So hours 1 through 4, you're here at main campus, knocking out your courses for your Michigan merit curriculum, your required courses for your diploma, and then you're taking Michigan transfer agreement, highly transferable courses across the street, supported by a Holt teacher. So for example, this psych class is Miss Meredith. So she actually sits back in the back of the class while you're in the class with the college professor lecturing, and then you meet with Miss Meredith on your off days where she's dropping in those workshops, working with you on note-taking strategies, active reading skills, career research, How are we going to get to where we're going? How is this going to help us? What do we want to do? In year 12, you start working on your resume. You do informational interviews. We do mock interviews in the spring of the year. So you're doing these types of activities on the days you're not meeting with your professor. And then year 13, you're full-time at the college campus, 10 to 16 credits, so you're a full-time student. You'll need a math credit and an econ credit here to meet your final year econ. And then you work with your LCC advisor to map out how that'll work. So although we're all one cohort, after we complete that MTA, year 13s will look similar but could look different. I might be going to, this might be my bridge to studying education at CMU. And so my year 13 will be all classes that transfer to CMU. Mr. Falk might be studying to go to Michigan State to do sports management. So he'll have a lot of business courses and things that'll transfer to MSU. Miss Meredith might be studying engineering and going to Michigan Tech. So she's going to take more calculus and things of that nature in the 13th year at LCC. So that's how it works, how we can have one program of study with students go in different directions. The wraparound supports, again, are very important. Early college prep, spring of year 10. We'll talk about that in the next slide. Holt Advantage classes, that's what we buy the LCC class, we deliver it across the street. That's really the best of both worlds. So there used to be this thing called the LCC Early College. And that was a brick and mortar early college where students would apply and they would go out of their local high school to LCC. And that's how years 10, 11, and 13, or 11, 12, and 13 went. You basically left Holt and went there. There's some advantages to that. But having a program within your school that we're doing here kind of presents the best of both worlds because you still get to take advantage of the clubs, the activities, the culture of being in your local high school on a regular basis, sports teams, all those things that you kind of get as part of your fabric of your local community. But then you've got one foot in the college world the whole way through. And it's kind of gradual. As the student said in the video, it becomes, you're kind of going up a stair step and further into college as you go through those transitions. Workshops, cohort social events, and then that 70 plus hours of work-related experiences. In year 12, we've got capstone that we have students take, and/or we're going to have a couple options for a MEMCA-related course, capstone or a couple other options, where they're geared towards being able to get those 70 hours. So if that seems daunting, it's kind of built in. You would have to go out of your way not to be able to do the hours due to the way we designed the program. So when you're in year 12, you're going to map out and either do an entrepreneurial project or a passion project, a community service project. You get to work on something that's important to you. And we're going to count those hours towards your 70 plus. So it is built into our progression. So early college prep. We did not have this in when we started the program. We added this in after the second year. And the reason for that, we determined if we're going to have students dual enroll in fall of year 11, how do we proactively work with our students to prepare them to be successful in their college courses and prepare them to be college-going students while in high school. It takes a flip of a switch. Some students are ready. They have the executive skills. They're ready to start studying and taking college courses. Other students, we spend a semester this spring and it's going to help get them there. So this is where Miss Meredith's going to work a lot on some of the skills to be successful, some of these perseverance pillars, things of that nature. And what we say to be a student being real successful in early college prep, by the end of this year, we'll be able to answer these questions. Who am I? What's important to me? Where do I want to be? And how do I plan to get there? And you don't have to be very, very specific in all of that. But if you could say, my name's Lucas Schraubman. I think I want to study business. I want to go to maybe Western Michigan or Central Michigan. Well, that gives that student a whole new perspective when they come back in the fall next year and they're in a college course and they're taking the 5th and 6th hour with their LCC professor for the why on why they're in that course. So that was a big reason we put that in. Ms. Meredith, you want to talk a little about early college prep and what students could expect with this elective if they wanted to continue?
Thank you. Early college prep, like Mr. Schraubman said, is really designed around 3 key questions. Who am I? Where do I want to go? And how in heck am I going to get there? It is a class that I really wish someone had talked with me about or that I had attended when I was in high school. So the who am I kind of revolves around doing some interest surveys, some skills surveys, and some value surveys to get students to look more closely at who they are as an individual, what strengths do I have, what skill sets do I have, what do I need to build on. We move from there into career research so that we're starting to look at where do I want to go with my life, and they research a wide variety of careers that might fit who they are as individuals, and then they finish that part of the project off with interviewing an individual who is currently working in that field. And I'm going to put a little shameless plug out there. Adults in the audience, If you're willing to mentor one of our students by doing a career-related interview with them, my email's up there. Please shoot me a quick email and we'll add you to our contact list. All right, so we've got the who am I, where do I want to go, and the biggest piece is how am I going to get there. We spend a lot of time throughout the semester in early college prep working on kind of what I call the success toolkit, all right? Learning how our brains work and how we actually learn. Learning about the scientific-based research that cognitive scientists have done on how we learn and what study skills work the most effectively for us so that we can help those little neurons floating around in our brain make the kind of connections we need to move information from short-term to long-term memory. We also just worked on your basic soft skills, the organization, the self-management, and right down to the basics of, hey, I can't do any of this if I'm not making sure that I'm taking care of both my physical and my emotional well-being. Which leads me to one final plug. This coming Tuesday night at 6:30 at this campus, starting in the auditorium, is the mental health night that our counseling staff has been working really hard on bringing to our students. It is something that I am recommending to all my early college students attend this thing. All right, so that's a really fast synopsis of what early college prep is about.
She's good. Thank you, Miss Meredith. So that is what we do with early college prep. The idea being, I give it a week. Like I said, I'll send you a survey. We're going to go over a couple other options that would make sense for students who saw the early college program and applied. You go ahead and reply to the survey. After going to the informational session, this is what I think I would like to do, and there's options on there. You select the one that you think you would like to do. From there, I take the students who are planning to continue and I hand a list to Mr. Connor, who's our early college counselor, and I say, okay, work your magic. Take a look at these student schedules and see if you can find a way to get them in first hour early college prep next semester. And he tries to do that. Now, some of you may have 2 classes in your schedule that are year-long courses, so there is no movement available. If that's the case, we do early college prep in a Google Classroom, and it's skinny down. We definitely don't want to burden you with a 7th class. How many assignments are in the early college prep class? Is that 7 or 8 assignments for the whole semester? Yeah. Or is it more than that now? No. About 8, we'll say 8 to be conservative. About 8 assignments for the whole second semester. But we want to see you engage with that, if it's the Google Classroom or in person, because we want to see this, you're serious about this. And in that Google Classroom, that's what you're doing, is the same type of research they would do in the class, just on a smaller scale. So you too are getting that feeling on how is this going to be the bridge to where you're going. So that is how we would continue for that next step. So if that doesn't seem like it's of interest and you don't want to do that, that's okay. When I send the survey, you can just select a different option or say that this isn't what you want to continue. This is another one, Wilson Talent Center. Okay, so the Wilson Talent Center is one of the career centers in the area. They service Ingham County. And the Ingham County Career Centers, Wilson Talent Center, the Eaton RESA, where I used to formerly work, and the Clinton County RESA, all form together what they call the Capital Regional Technical Early College. And so these are programs at Wilson Talent Center that have an early college path. Now, Mr. Schraben's not facilitating it, Ms. Meredith's not facilitating it, but if you're a sophomore in here that was already curious about Wilson Talent Center, this could be a way where you could also do a 13th year in an early college path. I cannot vouch for the ins and outs of the program. I do believe the Ferris State ones, as we learned about our early college program here, the Ferris State ones, the Davenport universities, I think all these are using a combination of direct college credit and articulated credit. Okay, so you're able to get further ahead when you do that, but you got to be cognizant of that articulation piece. If you start with a program with articulated credit, you want to make sure that that's an institution you're going to be finishing that opportunity with or continuing there. So these are great opportunities with Wilson Talent Center that you could go with that way. I'll include these in the survey. So if I send it and you're like, I'm kind of interested in Wilson Talent Center, it sounds like it might be a better fit for me, that's one option in the survey. Another option's, I think I want to do the Wilson Talent Center, potentially one of their SurTech options, that's an option too. Now, not all their programs have an early college path. These are the ones that do. Okay? The other is traditional university prep. So before we started the early college, we sent a lot of students off to college with a ton of college credit. And we have a very strong track record of students in admissions and being able to get in. And I can tell you, Being working in education now for 12 years and working formally with Eaton Risa and school districts across the area, I have yet to meet a counselor who's as dedicated and determined as Ms. Fox. And when she works as our AP coordinator, she does a tremendous job with students who are trying to navigate the admissions process to be successful with that. So would you like to talk a little bit about AP and if a student, the traditional university path or all those types of things?
All right, so by show of hands, how many of you guys are in AP Bio this year? And AP World History? All right, so some of you have already started your journey through our AP classes in sophomore year. Junior year, as you can see, we have a few more, and then senior year, it grows. We also have an opportunity to take very numerous AP tests just by self-studying, so we might not necessarily have the class, like an AP Computer Science or any of those, but students are self-studying and going to take the test in May and then getting college credit. If you are interested in AP classes, there is a whole search that you can do by school. So say you want to go to Michigan State or you want to go to Central or Western, and you want to see just how many credits you can get, you can search that. How you get credits from AP classes is by taking the test and receiving a certain score. So it's out of 5 points, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. Most schools will waive a requirement. If you get a 3, you won't get college credit, but you won't have to take like a writing class, or you won't have to take that biology class. You've already taken it. If you get like a 3, 4, or 5, you will get college credit. So taking government as a junior usually gets you up to 8 credits at most universities if you pass the test. We do have some students go into college, have kind of tracked with all of our AP options, and are a sophomore when they're a freshman. They have that many college credits from our AP classes. You can take as many tests as you want. The cost this year is $98 per test. If you are on free and reduced lunch, it's $5. So it is affordable when you think about waiving government. It's usually, that's about a 4 credit class. If you're going to Michigan State, that's about $1,200. So you're looking for government at $2,800 that you only paid $98 or $5 to take the test.
All right, thank you. And again, if you're looking at, so on the back end, you know, as we look, we're batting 100% of students who have gone through the early college program and applied to the colleges they've wanted to get into. With that said, I haven't had anybody apply to a Notre Dame. I haven't had anybody apply to Michigan yet. We've done probably 8 to 10 that have gone to MSU. But if it's a high-end academic, an Ivy League, a Michigan, one of these, a traditional university route with an AP class is something those admission officers are excited to see and would probably say they prefer to see. Okay, so just being candid with all that. A couple Q&As and then we'll open it up to Q&A. Do I welcome my graduating class? We've hit that a couple times. Yes, you do. You're encouraged to have your open house and do all your year-end celebrations with your year 12 as usual. And then you'll do year 13 full-time on the college campus. You work with Mr. Schraben on your dual enrollment paperwork, and that part's important so that we pay for the course and not you in the 13th year. How do I know if I'm in? We'll send letters out in June. You're on track right now. Everybody here is on track. The next step will be when I send the survey. We talked about some different options. Select what you think you might be interested in. I think I want to do early college. I think I want to do the MTA path with LCC. I think I want to do the Davenport path, and we'll have the 3 options listed. I think I'd like to do Wilson Talent Center or the Wilson Talent Center SurTech path. You know what? I think I'd like to load up on AP courses and do more of a traditional university path. You select in there, and from that, we'll be able to kind of connect you with the next step that's appropriate for you. If it's early college, then we're going to try to schedule you an early college prep. So I do want that survey back within the week because Mr. Connor stopped by already today. Said, hey, when do I get that list of students I got to schedule? Second semester schedules are coming together, so he's chomping at the bit to get started on that. Requirements then at that point. You're in early college prep. You're working with Miss Meredith. Well, you got to pass that class. If you're late to class, your attendance is poor, you're not passing early college prep, you're not studying, you're not doing the things, that class is not meant to be rigorous and hard. It's a preparation course for college. If you're not passing that class, more than likely, the skills to be successful in a college course in the fall of year 11 aren't quite there yet. So passing that, and that part's important. That's not meant like as a negative thing. it's important that if you're going to continue, you're ready for that college class in fall year 11. And that's why that early college prep piece is there. We want to help prepare you proactively for that. But if we don't, and you take that, that's transcripted college credit. So if you were to go down this path and you fail a college course, that starts to affect your overall, what's the acronym? It's like your college success score. And if it starts to get too low, that can affect financial aid in the future. So we don't want you doing the program either if you're not quite ready for this. So that's a part to have in mind. A 2.5 GPA by the end of this semester, 480 on the evidence-based reading and writing portion by the PSAT of this spring. Students, you can go in the College Board. You could go in your College Board account and take a look at last year's PSAT, see what you got in the evidence-based reading and writing portion. Some of you may be holding a 480 or higher in that portion already. Next steps would be the survey, and then early college prep would be an elective first hour next semester, or the Google Classroom. Does the PSAT have to be completed before submitting the application? No. So you took the PSAT last year, but we'll take it this spring, and that'll be important, right? So there might be ninth graders who, the reality mom and dad don't want to hear is a lot of times students on the ninth grade PSAT tried their best, and a lot of times they're like, they didn't know why it was important, they didn't try that hard. It's unfortunate, but that's the reality of it. Now they see how it's important. This PSAT 10 will be an important part to get that 480. And Miss Meredith works with Khan Academy still, or is it Khan Academy and a couple other tools to help you prepare for that PSAT? Again, we want to help to proactively help you get to that goal. Additionally, the Holt Ed Foundation offers a SAT workshop and practice exam in February every year. So you can sign up for that. It's like $35. It's a fundraiser for the HEF. Students come in on a Saturday morning. Sylvan Learning Center's here. They go over some information around the SAT, and then they give you a practice exam with your score so you can see where you're at. While doing early college, are we actually learning college information, or are they just preparing us to go to college? A little bit of both. Early college prep is going to prepare you, but you're actually earning college credit. And then there's those three ways. There's the AP credit, articulated credit, and direct college credit. Am I better served to load up on AP courses or just do the whole early college program? And this one we say it really depends on your situation and your future goals. Again, we've got excellent AP offers and teachers. When do you plan to go to university? So that's a conversation to have at home this evening if this is something you're considering. If it's after year 12, you're going to apply fall year 12 and go directly to a university, that'd be more of the traditional university path. If it's the resources are probably such that doing a year or two at LCC was going to be the plan anyway, we're going to start that earlier. Okay, so it's a matter of what's right at your household, what's right for your student, and what would make the most sense. Admissions advisors do like those AP courses if you're applying in year 12 when it's more competitive. Early college is a 3-year program of study, so you do got to be committed to want to do that 13th year either at LCC or Davenport University. Would I still be able to do band or choir until the end of 12th grade? And is the PSAT requirement based on 9th or 10th grade? So yes, you could do band or choir. 5th and 6th hour is the hour the dual enrollments are often for LCC students. So choir is the only one that there can be a pinch point sometimes. Band is usually 1st hour, 2nd hour, so you're all good there. It's choir where if you have choir 5th hour this year and then you got to like sing and get into 4th hour choir. By choir people know what I'm talking about. If you're in 4th hour, you're all good. If you don't get in and you got 5th hour choir, well, now we got a bit of a pinch point and you'd have to make a decision. But we've been doing it now 6 years. We've had that happen one time. It's when MENA choir used to be 5th hour. We had a student who chose to do choir 5th hour, just didn't do the early college classes in 5th and 6th hour for year 11 and then hooked back in with us in year 12. So the short answer is yes, we can make those work. When it does get tough is when you start to have multiple things. Like you can usually navigate 2, maybe 3. So when you get 3 or 4, it gets sticky. Like I want to do early college, I want to be in the band, I want to do 4 years of Spanish, and I really like cybersecurity. That's not all going to fit. So that's the drawback, right? So we went through a lot of things. What's the drawback, Mr. Schraubman? Why wouldn't we do this? Well, 5th and 6th hour, you're taking college courses. So you're giving up a lot of your elective opportunities. So that's the drawback, is you're only going to be able to fit so many things while you're in high school. This is going to be college, 5th and 6th hour, hours 1 through 4, your Michigan Merit curriculum, and you'll get a couple electives along the way, but not as many as you would have otherwise. All right. that is everything in the presentation. 1 hour on the dot. We did all right, I think. That's a lot of intel. Questions, live. What types of questions do we have?